have you got your survival tin, Doug?
Yep.
Thank you. Okay, it's important, like, keep the tape on, because obviously you want to keep the contents dry, and always retain it. Okay, a whistle, I can make more noise with this, and it'll carry further than what I can shout or scream, you know, and especially if I'm on reduced liquids, I'm going to be dry and parched, you know, so the whistle is an ideal way of attracting attention. And the international distress signal is 6 spaced blasts. So I blow for 5 seconds, wait 5 seconds, do it 6 times, and anyone answering me will do it 3 times. And so, would you like a demonstration, Doug?
Okay.
So I'll count for you. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Rest. 2, 3, 4, 5, and again 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, great. 6 times. And so don't blow it like a demented football referee, you know. And also in a car, you might have an emergency. Use the horn on the car. Now, if people carry a torch. What would you, or how would you signal with a torch, maybe at night, the emergency?
Flashes.
Exactly the same, yeah. Don't try and do the Morse code, you know. 6 spaced flashes, the same in the car, the headlights. So you got the horn, you got the lights in the car. In the wild here, you got your torch, you got your whistle. 6 space blasts, okay? Right. So the survival tin, look, it gives you the ability to make or acquire all the major elements: food, fire, shelter, water, navigation and medical. All in that small tin. Now we used to run courses and say, right, put whatever you like in that tin, and people used to turn up maybe full of curry powder. Some people filled it with gold sovereigns or pound notes or whatever. But in a survival situation, you want the ability, you know, to survive with all them elements. And so I just take them out as it comes. Now the tape was important around the outside, so it don't accidentally open or water gets in if you've done a river crossing or you get wet. And so keep it dry. And check your tin. People put so much in the tin that they don't check it. You know, once it's packed, it's like a suitcase. You scram everything in, put a tape around there, you're reluctant to undo it. But don't have any food in there. If you start carrying food in there, it will deteriorate, especially if you go to the tropics. And so, but from time to time, check it, and you might consider taking out the fish hooks if you're in the desert and saying, okay, there's not much call for that there, and adding other things in which are more, you know, agreeable with the area. Likewise, if you've got any medication like contact lenses or specific drugs, include them inside your survival tin. And that tin should be in your breast pocket. Don't matter if you're walking the dog, ballroom dancing, or you're stuck in the Arctic desert or jungle. It's the difference between life and death, and everything comes from that tin. You can survive in style, okay? So the lid is a mirror, okay? It's got a protective cover at the moment, but more rescues have been affected by the use of a heliograph. You know, not on a day like today, but especially in the tropics, reflecting the sun's rays in the path of an aircraft. It's good for 20 miles. Over the curvature of the earth, pilots have seen flashes and they've gone to investigate. That's the importance of a heliograph. Okay, cotton wool. You don't want it making a noise all the time, rattling around and maybe damaging the compass inside or anything sensitive. So lots and lots of cotton wool. Now, not only does it keep the tin from rattling, but it's also excellent tinder. So when we come to light a fire, we use a small part sparingly, and with the flint and steel, I can get a fire going, which will take me about 3 hours to unravel. I'm going to show you how we get the fire going onto our tinder. So just got a small piece, fluff it out, okay, have all my stuff ready to go straight onto it, and then just one spark on, away she goes. I've got a good heat source, and if I make my tinder fine enough, it's going to get going, okay? If you've got insect repellent or any sunscreen, you know, any medication that contains oil or alcohol, if you soak your cotton wool in that first and then light it, it will burn twice as long, okay? So that's the importance of the cotton wool. And the flint and steel, even when it's wet. Again, if you're carrying a knife, you don't need all this on, just have the flint. That is important, and that will last a lifetime. Okay, the next thing we got is a saw. Now, this started life as a surgeon's tool called a Ghibli saw, and it was used to amputate limbs. Well, we're going to use it to cut wood, bone, metal, or plastic, and essential for making a shelter where you can't cut like quite big stuff like this with your knife. Insert a couple of toggles, look, it protects your hands, and then on a stick such as this, as long as you keep it straight, and away you go. You can cut through, quite substantial timber, so it's good for making a shelter. Okay, brass wire is excellent at making snares. Also, if you want a strong fixing, if you've got an old container, you can make good pot handles with it. Okay, fishing kit. Now, there's no food in the tin, but it gives you the ability to acquire food. So there we got some hooks. Remember, a small hook will catch small fish and big fish, where a big hook will only catch big fish. So a good selection of hooks, nice and small, some weight, lots and lots of line, nice and strong. Make night lines for this, and if there's fish in the water, we can catch them. Okay, the candle is not to write your memoirs of a night with, but once you light the candle, okay, get your tinder, get the fire going, take your candle back, extinguish it, and it's excellent for lighting a fire. Okay, when conditions are difficult, use the candle, but use it sparingly. Okay, the compass. We say you can go north with a touch of east, you can go south with a touch of west, but no way you can go north with a touch of south, okay? Now, if you had no navigational aids whatsoever on a featureless plane, with nothing to sort of, to get your senses orientated, and if you started walking what you thought was in a straight line, you would do a big arc, and it's normally to the right. Whether it's gravitational pull of the earth or the organs in the body, no one knows, but most people go to the right, convinced you're going in a straight line. The only way to correct that is a compass. By looking at your compass, retain orientation. You should never get geographically embarrassed. Okay, so the compass. A small knife, you should carry a 3-inch pocket knife, but if you've got nothing whatsoever, a small knife like this, you can see there's quite a lot, for feathering your wood, for preparing game, it's beneficial. Okay.
How would you sharpen it?
Okay, sharpening the knife, always go against the steel. Imagine that's a stone or from a river, or get some rocks, always against the steel. People get a knife and they sharpen it and they go like this. They just round the edge over. Whereas you get a nice flat rock, imagine there's a flat rock against the steel, bring it back about a 20-degree angle, and this way I get a good edge on the knife, okay? And we have a saying, you're only as sharp as your knife, okay? And always cut towards your mate. None of this. And the worst thing, you see people cutting down, making them feather sticks, and you got femoral arteries, delicate. So the knife not in use, fold it up, put away. Okay, safety pins, 1001 uses. The book matches, again, the flint very well, use these sparingly to light your candle, keep them dry. And this, I guess, is a sewing kit. Again, assortment of needles and different threads, fishing line, and you can fashion, repair or make clothing if you've got a sewing kit. But remember, like I said, if you're ballroom dancing even, there's a lot of comfort if you've got carrying something like this, button drops off, whatever, get it back on. Okay, this is an unlubricated condom. It will carry up to 2 litres of water. I think they're tested at 40 litres. But we use this as a membrane to carry water. It's difficult to get the water in there, but if you wrap it inside your coat and that, between water holes, it does give you the ability to carry water. Okay. And again, we discussed filtering water and boiling, but comes a time where you can't do that because you're on the move, maybe can't get a fire going for many reasons. So we got chlorine tablets. But remember, chlorine, follow the instructions, 1 tablet, 1 litre of water, you wait 10 minutes. Now, imagine that water was heavily sedimented. The chlorine attacks the major particles. So you finish up the water with the crud absolutely sterile, but the bacteria unchecked. So you don't want that. So filter water first, even if you're using these, if it's real sedimented, and then you can safely, follow the instructions. Okay. And again, a pencil. You want to record, and imagine a stone on the ground. We always stay where we are, because probably got injured people. We got the wreckage of the aircraft, the ship, or the vehicle, and it's a bigger signature on the ground. So stay where you are, and this way people can find you. But maybe after 3 weeks, depending on what area you're in, you used all the local resources, you sold the area, all the gain's been either they've chased away, firewood's been used up, time to move, because you can't depend on the rescue coming to you. So that's when you move, that's when you leave a message, what you've done, state your intentions, so anyone eventually finding this location will know what your intentions are. So it's important to have something to write with. Always got a scrap of paper, leave a message. Now all this fits into a tin, and if you really push you can boil water in it, okay? So that's why we recommend a small tin. Too big you'll leave it out. That 2-ounce tobacco tin size is ideal. Lots of contents fit inside of it. In your pocket you forget it, and in an emergency there's a lot of comfort in that tin, yeah?